Okay, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Well, welcome to the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. It is April 6th, 2023. Commissioner Cook today is on assignment. He's speaking to a Robinson Junior High, I believe, about county government, so that's a good assignment. On my left is Commissioner Aaron Mays, who represents District 3, and I'm Bill Rippon, I represent District 1. And we have Jim Crowell on my right, our county attorney, and then we have Cindy Beck over here on the far left, county clerk. And speaking of county clerk, what's our first item on there?
First item is under unfinished business. Item A, second reading, consider approval of Home Rule Resolution Number HR 2023-1 to amend the Shawnee County Code, Article 3, County Property, Section 4-81, selling or serving of alcoholic liquor or cereal malt beverage licenses on county property, and Section 4-82, possession and consumption of alcoholic liquor or cereal malt beverages on county property, to include the Great Overland Station and stanchion areas adjoining the facility. In addition, the resolution updates the name of the Kansas Expo Center to the Stormont Bailey Event Center.
Good morning,
Jess?
Commissioners. Jess Rakestraw, Parks and Recreation. Here again, just to do the second reading and hopefully get approval on amending the county code for those two sections the clerk stated. The first one's just updating the name to the Stormont Bailey Event Center from Kansas Expo Center, and then the second piece, the second section, is adding the Great Overland Station to the list of facilities. So happy to answer any questions.
I don't have any questions. Jim, you've reviewed this.
Yes, it's been reviewed and approved, and we're on our second reading today. So it's ready for action if you are so inclined. And this has been Jim Crowell, County Councilor, for the record.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item B, under unfinished business, consider approval of resolution number 2023-24, establishing Shawnee County Commission districts.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Crowell, Shawnee County Councilor again. Although not required to have it in two readings, we have approached this proposed resolution as a home rule resolution. So we did have our first reading last week. I have no proposed changes from the first reading last week. What you have before you is the existing map with the former population numbers prior to the, well, I guess they are. This is the updated population numbers from the 2000 census, and this is what our commission districts look like now based upon the statute and court cases interpreting redistricting requirements. We felt that it was necessary to move some precincts or propose moving some precincts to bring our districts closer into balance. So we presented you with a proposed map, existing map. This is the proposed, this map shows you the proposed changes, and most of the changes occur around Lake Sherwood here, and one change includes adding a precinct from District 3 to District 2 here. One minor change that you don't see, there is a flat district that is just a flat line, and that's Precinct 111, technically within the city limits. The state created that district through its redistricting process. The election office has asked us to move 111, which has 0 population, into District 1-4. And so that's also contained within the resolution to move 111 into District 2, yes.
This district will never have anybody in it, will it?
It should not ever have anyone.
It's just a road.
It is a roadway.
Okay.
And it's
Thank you,
my
State.
understanding, for example, there's another one that's just the river, all in the river. And so that when election results come out, we don't have results coming out that we know in advance has 0 voters in it, but it causes questions for people to see a precinct return with 0 votes. So the new population numbers are on the upper right after these changes are made, and the substantive changes are the precinct Pawnee from District 3 to District 2, the precinct Sherwood from District 3 to District 1, the precinct South Sherwood from District 1 to District 3, and Sunflower 86 from District 1 to District 3. And it is to provide a little more, I proposed it in this manner, or my office did, to make it a little more consistent on each side of Lake Sherwood and to rebalance the districts as required by the statutes. The final map after those changes, if you adopt the resolution as presented, would look like this. And it is our recommendation that we make changes at this point in time.
Jim, how often does the state require we redistrict?
We take a look at it. We are not required to redistrict at any time, but we are required to look at our maps, to look at the math every 3 years.
Every 3 years. Okay.
And then court decisions will tell you, once you get a certain percentage of a difference between districts, when you ought to take a look at changing those districts.
Any questions?
Yeah, so going back to the precinct with nobody in it. I
Yes.
know that there are multiple precincts like that around the county. I think there's some highway easement type things and stuff like that. Maybe it's a question for you, maybe for the election office. How do we get rid of those? I mean, can we consolidate precincts from one to another if there's nobody in them? Otherwise, it seems overly bureaucratic, in my opinion.
I will defer to Mr. Howe, the election commissioner.
Okay.
Well, as you can imagine, it's slightly more complicated than that. Part of what's difficult for us is the state makes changes, and because there are different either legislative or county or other offices that may have different portions, we try not to make changes unless there is, like the one that we're requesting here, it's going to be pretty clear and pretty easy to do and accomplish without creating unnecessary complications in ballot styles or voter confusion. So I guess the quick answer is there are a lot of precincts that if they aren't perfectly handled at the state level, it's very difficult for us to do a lot with it. So this was one that was obviously easy to do, but there are a lot of them that are far more complicated because we can't combine precincts in a situation where we've got different Senate districts and different House districts that don't neatly fit into that. So it creates a lot of complications, and it doesn't meet the requirements of the law to combine them when there are separate districts. This just happens to be one that we can accomplish that.
So you're saying it's something that needs to be handled at the state level then?
Yeah, ideally we would get a little bit more input into the state process, but honestly, at the end of the day, we don't have any legal voice or any ability to require it. So at the end of the day, we're just kind of working with what we're given. And I think the last couple times redistricting's occurred, there have been, some last minute decisions, and
Sure.
it is what it is. So we do the best we can to make it work well.
Okay.
Andrew, do you anticipate this changing people's polling places in any way?
I really don't. We don't anticipate a large amount of changes to polling places. I worked very hard not to change those. There will be one or two, and I think people have already seen that in District 3 because there were some significant changes in the precincts over there. We did not have the wholesale change and splitting of precincts that we saw in other parts of the state. So to a large degree, most voters will not see a change.
All right.
So, thank you, Andrew. Jim, when does this need to be done by?
Well, there's no timeline. the election office has requested that we do it sooner rather than later, not only to give their office time to institute the changes that would be made, but also to give the voters as much lead time as possible.
So, I mean, I approve the map and all that, but I do think that we probably ought to have all three commissioners here to take the vote, in my opinion. I think I would prefer if we would defer this for 1 week until all three of us can be here. His, Commissioner Cook's district is affected by this, and so I think if we can, that would be my preference.
That would be fine with me.
You certainly can defer it another week to receive more input, to wait for all three commissioners to be here to vote on it.
Okay,
There
I
is
would make a
no legal
motion.
requirement that we do that today.
That we defer until,
What's that
let me
date?
get the right date, April 13th.
Okay, I'll second that. Motion's been made by Commissioner May, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries 2-0. So we'll bring this up next week.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next item.
Item 3, consent agenda.
I will move for approval of the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0. Next item.
Item 4, new business, A, County Clerk number 1, consider all voucher payments.
All right, this morning we have vouchers totaling $3,941,580.33. Couple things of note on there, under general expense to interior landscapes for $42,716.39 is for the furniture for the new jury room. Under IT for internet security, Center for Internet Security is the pay. $13,800 is for intrusion detection services. And then a payment to American Digital Security LLC for $32,419.95. That's for the camera system installation at Great Overland Station that we did for Dino Days. Under Register of Deeds to the Treasurer, Kansas State Treasurer, $16,753. That's for the Heritage Trust fees quarterly payment. And then under Sheriff, a couple items, CBS Manhattan, $38,857 for door access maintenance, and then Tyler Technologies for $32,700. It's for e-ticketing software and maintenance. I don't have any questions about any of this or concerns, so if there are none, I would move for approval.
Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner May, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0. Next item.
Item 2, consider correction orders.
I'll move approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner May, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0. Next item.
Item B, Public Works number 1, consider approval of a project budget for a road reclamation project on Southwest Nottingham Road from approximately Southwest 33rd to approximately Southwest 37th Street at a total estimated cost of $1,152,505, with funding coming from the 2023 Public Works operating budget and the Public Works Special Highway Fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. Over the school summer break, we would like to do a heavy maintenance project on Nottingham Road between Southwest 33rd and Southwest 37th. To be more precise, it's about 200 feet south of the intersection at 33rd and 200 feet north of the intersection at 37th. The advantage of working south of 33rd is during our construction project, in which Nottingham will be closed, access will be available to the school via Urish Road and 33rd. But again, the reason I'm here before you is basically to get a project budget approved and, maybe more importantly, your approval to solicit bids for construction. With that, I look forward to any questions that you might have.
What's the scope of this project? Is this like a mill and overlay, or is this more detailed than this?
This is much more detailed. We're going to basically manipulate the base material and put 6 to 8 inches of asphalt on top of the base. The road, there are no plans for the existing Nottingham Road when it was built. It was built as part of the dam project, and there were no plans. And during the course of our geotechnical investigation, it was found that Nottingham Road is very wanting in structure. So we're going to correct that. We're going to put a road in that should last quite a long time.
So is it going to be a concrete base then, or?
No, it'll be granular, but it'll be cement treated.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Any changes to the design of the road at all?
Nope,
I mean, it's
nope,
still same
nope.
path and.
Same alignment, basically same elevations. And the reason we're doing that is because in the north end of the project and the south end of the project, we have neighborhoods. We have to match driveways. So we're not going to change the grade much. We are not putting in some kind of amenities such as a walking path or anything like that. The project is already costing way more than I had hoped. So
Okay.
we're just addressing the road at this time.
The width of the road will remain the same.
Yes, yes, sir.
And then, do we send out, or are we having neighborhood meetings or anything like that with this project?
I hadn't planned on it, but if it's the will of the commission, we would be glad to do that. I mean, the road will be closed, but obviously we have to allow local access to properties. So, that's an automatic for us. We will do the usual press releases through Amanda, but if you think more is required, we would be glad to accommodate.
Okay, well, let's talk about it and figure out something. I want to make sure that everyone that lives over there that's going to be directly impacted has a good idea of what's happening and the timeline and stuff like that. So-
Sure. The project will start on May 29th.
Okay.
Okay, all right. I would move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0. Next item.
Item B2, consider authorization and execution of contract C-125-2023 with Cook, Flat, and Strobel Engineers, PA, to provide professional design services for a road reconstruction project, Southwest Auburn Road between Southwest 29th and K4 Highway, plus connections to the new USD 437 Middle School complex, at a total lump sum cost of $615,028. This contract will be paid by using various funding sources, some from multiple budget years.
Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. This time we have a major reconstruction project that we're planning to construct in 2025. Of course, before we can get to that point, we need to have plans and bid documents, et cetera, et cetera. So we would like to bring on Cook, Flat, Strobel to do that work for us. This contract does not include any construction inspection. Back on August 3rd, the commission authorized or allowed Public Works to put out solicitations for design services. The Professional Services Committee met and decided that Cook Flat provided the best chance for success. And so I'm here before you asking you to approve a contract for design services on this project.
Is this the project that'll have the roundabout?
This project will have a roundabout at 29th and Auburn, and 1,600 feet east of there, it'll have a roundabout that will serve the primary entry and exit point for the middle school complex.
So, Kurt, I have a question on here. The item description does not have anything on 29th Street listed. It's just Auburn Road.
Yeah, but you'll notice in there, it does say on the project listing, it does say middle school complex entrances.
Okay.
I just did get specific on the type of entrances.
Jim, is that going to be an issue at all? Do we need to add some language that says on 29th Street between Auburn and whatever?
I think there's been sufficient discussion, I would imagine, between the Public Works Department and design teams that bid on the project to understand the scope. And I think, given the record of Public Works in being able to execute these contracts, I don't foresee a problem with this language.
Okay. I'm
Now-
comfortable with that, so
Aaron, just to be clear, are you talking about in the contract itself or just on this description?
mostly just the agenda item.
Yeah. The contract itself does specify a roundabout east of our roundabout at 29th and Auburn.
Okay. So, Madam Clerk, for the record, this would also include a portion of 29th Street as well. Just make sure we're straight on that, so.
Kurt, did we have, is the Washburn School District, are they participating in any fashion in this?
So far, they're willing to participate on the roundabout up to a maximum of $500,000. And on the connection on Auburn Road, they're going to pay 100% of that. And for a bus connection, they're going to pay 100% of that. So right now, they're paying, again, just to summarize, 100% of a connection off Auburn Road, 100% of a connection for their bus services, and then they're going to, right now, they've agreed to pay $500,000 for the roundabout, the primary entry and exit point for their facility. They've agreed to donate any right-of-way that we need north of 29th and east of Auburn Road. So, yes.
I don't think they've officially agreed to anything yet, though.
Not
Right?
official,
We're
there's
in-
no contract.
Yeah.
This has been a word of mouth, what I've
Yeah.
been told that they've agreed to pay up to $500,000 at this point.
Yeah, we've been working with them.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
All right. All right. Any other questions?
No, I'll move for approval.
I will second. Motion's been made by Commissioner May, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item C, Health Department, number 1, request approval for purchase of 5 Surface Pro 9s, docking stations, keyboards, and software for maternal child health outreach program staff for use in the field with an approximate total cost of $11,495 to be paid by KDHE aid to local MCH program grant.
Good morning, Missy Middendorf, Shawnee County Health Department, Family Health Division Manager. And as the clerk indicated, we're asking for approval to purchase the Surface Pros and all the equipment that goes with them at the approximate cost of the $11,495 for our MCH home visitors and their nurses and social workers that go out in the field and see clients. The last time we purchased the Surface Pros was in 2017, so they're becoming quite outdated. And all this will be paid for by the Aid to Local KDHE MCH grant. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion's
Thank you.
been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries 2-0. Next item.
Item C2, approval to reclassify and fill the Finance and Administrative Division Manager position at a salary of $81,565, including benefits, and any subsequent positions that become vacant as a result of filling this position. This position is funded by the department budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Teresa Fisher, Director of the Health Department. This is a request to reclassify and fill this position. This is a position that was previously our finance officer. I worked extensively with Audit, Finance, and Human Resources to review this position description to bring it up to date for the needs of what the department truly is. This was funded or budgeted in our department budget. It's a much-needed position. We need somebody to have the oversight of the finances beyond just myself and the accountant that we currently have. As you're aware, we have many grants and lots of sources of funding. And so I'm excited to get this position open and would be happy to answer questions you might have.
Questions?
No, I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0. Next item.
Item C3, request approval to purchase and install security systems for the J.P. Lewis location at 2600 South West East Circle Drive and the Van Sickle Building located at 2115 Southwest 10th Street through the state of Kansas purchasing price at an estimated cost of $80,670 to be paid by using ELC infrastructure grant funding.
Good morning again, Commissioners. Teresa Fisher, Director of the Health Department. This is a request for security systems for 2 of our locations. Our J.P. Lewis location does have a security system, so this would be replacing it. It is very limited in the numbers of cameras that we have and really what we're able to see through those cameras, both interior and exterior. And it is a challenge to pull any of the recordings off should we need them, which we have in the past. For the 10th Street location, we do not have a security system there, and so that site unfortunately has been the site of vandalism several times over the past few years, and so this would install a security system there. So I worked with Mark Price in IT to get the quotes and really the renderings of where we would have all the cameras located at. And we do have our ELC infrastructure grant. This is an opportunity for us to really utilize those grant dollars, and several other local health departments throughout the state have used it for this exact reason. So with that, I'm happy to answer questions you have.
Is this system similar to other systems that we have around the county? I guess it's a Mark question.
Morning, Commissioners. Mark Price, Information Technology. This is the exact same system we have at the courthouse, the one we put in at the Great Overland Station. It will really give a lot greater capability. It's also something we can get the sheriff's officers direct access if they were to need it, to see if there's an incident or something going on. There's some systems going throughout the county where this would be able to eventually be tied in to where law enforcement could use it for trying to locate or apprehend someone that was in the community also.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0.
Thank you,
Teresa.
Commissioners.
Next item.
Item D, solid waste. Number 1, consider approval of awarding bid for the purchase of commercial containers to Downing Supplies and Service with funding from the 2023 solid waste operational budget, which is 100% user fee funded and non-taxpayer supported.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Sutton, Shawnee County Solid Waste. These next 2 agenda items are a result of the RFP that we went out back in, or RFQ went up back in February of 23. Just getting a price per unit to establish a vendor for this year's purchase. So this first one is we're asking for approval to award a bid and authority to purchase commercial containers from Downey Sales and Service. They were the lowest and most responsive bidder by far, and my financial impact will not exceed $100,000 for this year. I actually do not foresee spending over $50,000 for my commercial containers. Subject to your questions.
Any questions?
No.
I will move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 2-0. Next item.
Item D2, consider approval to award bid for the purchase of roll-off containers to Downing Sales and Service with funding from the 2023 Solid Waste Operational Fund, which is 100% user fee funded and non-taxpayer supported.
Bill Sutton, Shawnee County Solid Waste. We're asking to award a bid and authority to purchase roll-off containers to Downing Sales and Service. It's been well over 15 years since we have purchased any new roll-off boxes. We do have a need to purchase for this year, just to restock our inventory. The cost of repairs is far exceeding the price of new, so that's why we are asking to award this bid. Subject to your questions, gentlemen. Yes, sir.
So, are these are replacements? They're not, are they like expanding the
A
amount?
little bit of both, sir. These will be replacements. We have some out in the field that just totally need to be replaced, and we are experiencing some growth in the roll-off business, just being competitive price that we are. And we want to be able to offer those residents that service.
Okay. And the old ones, do they haul them off, or we just throw the trash dumpsters in the trash?
They are on the books, so we will have to go through the proper technique to dispose of those. There she is over there. So whether they be salvage or whatnot, there are procedures that we have to go through to get rid of those.
There are no dumpsters for dumpsters.
Correct.
Just a bigger dumpster, I guess, right?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0. Thank you, Bill. Next item.
Item E, Information Technology. Number 1, consider approval of a request to reclassify a System Administrator 1 to an Assistant Network Administrator at an annual salary, including benefits, of no less than $73,876.51.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mark Price, Information Technology. This request is to reclassify our System Administrator 1 position, which we created, I think, back in 2020, and we filled with a great candidate that we kind of stole from the state. He stepped up to take my position once my position freed up from becoming director. He's been doing a great job in that. So we started advertising that, I think, in December timeframe. In that timeframe, we've had one person actually apply. And what we were seeing is when we had a person leave to go to another job with our assistant, we had another assistant network administrator position. So we had that position free up. We were seeing really good candidates in that level. The major difference between the System Administrator 1 and the Assistant Network Administrator is the System Administrator 1 has more supervisory responsibilities over our technicians. Then also there are some requirements of education and experience that are higher for the System Administrator 1 than the Assistant Network Administrator position. And like I say, we were seeing a lot of good candidates in the Assistant Network Administrator position. We were able to fill the opening we had. And because of that, what we would like to do is reclassify the System Administrator 1 position down to the Assistant Network Administrator position in hopes that some of those candidates we saw would reapply and would be able to fill that. Probably what you would see here in 2 or 3 years is we'd probably come back because of these candidates. If they're what we expect from them, they're going to be working, getting new skills, and actually then would be able to qualify for that System Administrator 1 position.
Questions?
No.
I will move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mark. Next item, public comment.
Item 5, public comment.
I don't have anyone signed up for that today. Is there anyone here from the public that'd like to speak? Seeing none. Next item.
Item 6, Administrative Communications.
Good morning, Commissioners. Nelda Henning, Director of Facilities Management. I did want to get it out to the public that starting Monday, the intersection over here at 7th and Quincy will be closed. The impact that will have on the public is accessing the courthouse. The north half of the parking lot south of the courthouse will be closed off completely with no access. So if you are a jury individual coming to serve at the courthouse, you will actually have to cross 7th Street to the south side, then cross Quincy, and then come down the parking lot halfway and then across to the courthouse. Because the intersection, the northeast corner, is getting torn up for a water line replacement and fire line replacement. So please, public, be aware of that situation, and access to the courthouse will be limited.
Now, I have a question about Quincy Street. Are they
Yes.
finished out here? Is this the final product, or are they going to
No.
do a mill? They're going to do an overlay on that? of some
Once
sort?
they get the intersection done, that's the last phase of the
Okay.
water line replacement. They will do an overlay, and as part of that overlay, the stoplights are actually going to be taken away. There will be cross signals for pedestrians to cross both 7th Street and Quincy. There will be angled parking installed, and the curbs will be extended out into the street. The street will be narrowed down to 3 lanes, 1 lane in each direction with a turn lane down the center. So it's just, we're about halfway through the process
Okay.
right now. The water line replacement was the biggest chunk of it, and the closing of the intersection is the last phase of the water line replacement portion. And then they'll be doing the overlay and the curb and replacements and the whole new marking of everything.
Okay. Well,
So,
Actually happy to hear that because it's pretty rough up there.
It's very rough out there, right? And it sounds like it's going to be a nice
Yeah.
improvement, so.
yeah, the biggest concern is how the cross signals are gonna work. The losing the lights is gonna kind of probably catch few people for a while, but I think once it's all said and done, it'll provide excellent parking for the plaza downtown, and even for around the courthouse. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. In the meantime, it's inconvenient.
It's just rough.
Good morning, Commissioners. Angela Lewis with Human Resources. I just want to remind everyone that the mobile mammography unit is across the street today. They do take walk-ins, and anyone with insurance is welcome to attend. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Done?
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Angela.
Good morning, Commissioners. Craig Barnes, Health Department. I just want to take a moment today to recognize this week as National Public Health Week. It is an annual occurrence, the first full week of April each year, to recognize the great work that's happening in public health. This year's overarching theme has been about connecting communities and really doing a great job of kind of showcasing the amazing partnerships that happen within our community. So each day has a daily theme. For example, today is mental health. So what we will be doing as a team at the health department through our social media channels is providing an update on the great collaborations that we have throughout our community, working to improve behavioral mental health in Shawnee County, and the kind of blossoming development, if you will, of the mental health collaborative that is just started really in earnest this year to bring together a diverse set of mental health stakeholders from all over the community to really do a deep dive into the root causes of mental health issues in our community. So excited about that. We've had a handful of events that have been going on this week already. I was honored to be able to, I guess, MC an event on Tuesday at the health department, which was the groundbreaking or the opening of our WIC community garden. As a part of that, we did a dedication ceremony as well to the late Charles McPeak, who was a long-time facilities manager and maintenance technician for the health department, even as far back as the health agency. And so we were able to do a bench dedication for him at our WIC garden. He was part of the process to kind of kickstart the vision for that. And so we're excited to see how that expands. Yesterday, actually, we were able to host a appreciation and recognition breakfast. Thank you, Commissioner Mays, for being in attendance. I know our staff really appreciated you being there and taking the time to talk to all of our staff. So thank you for that. And then today, actually, one of our health promotion coordinators is actually at the Robinson Career Fair as well with Commissioner Cook, talking about professions in public health and what you can do, the wide range of different professions that you can go into, from environmental health to nursing to health promotion. So really excited to see how that goes at Robinson Middle School. So a lot going on. County health rankings were last week, so this is a perfect segue into National Public Health Week. Goes through the end of Sunday. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Craig.
Good morning, Commissioners. Larry Moss, Shawnee County Treasurer. It is spring. In about 4 weeks, your second half taxes are due. In anticipation of that, we began mailing statements Monday. I know some people have already received those yesterday. You should receive your statement within the next week. If you don't, give our office a call and we'll email or send you another statement. In addition, next week, we will do an email blast to remind everyone that taxes are due on May the 10th. Last year we did that, and we had a lot of calls because people had already paid their taxes and they were concerned that there was a mistake. Please read the email. It says very clearly in there that if you've already paid, ignore the email. But we do that blast just to be sure to remind everyone. And again, you can pay your taxes with cash, check, or credit card, by mail, online, or walk in or drop off. Now, the drop off is going to be a little bit difficult this year because the drop off box happens to be at the intersection of 7th and Quincy, which is going to be closed. But you can drop off at the annex on 17th Street. We will not process the payment there, so you'll need to pay by check because we will not accept cash or credit card. But we will bring that down to the courthouse and process it and mail you the receipt. And again, May 10th, taxes are due. As Nelda indicated, the intersection out here will be closed starting Monday. That will have a huge impact on our office because we have several hundred people who come in there every day. In addition to that, the renovations at the courthouse will begin in the treasurer's office on Monday. So between the construction that will be going on overhead and the fact that you have very poor parking and access to the courthouse, made the decision to close the motor vehicle operations in the courthouse starting at 3 o'clock on Friday. We're going to do that on Friday so we can move everything to the annex. We'll have normal operations at the annex, but there will be no motor vehicle operations performed at the courthouse for at least the next 2 weeks. Hopefully, we'll get far enough on the renovations that we can open the motor vehicle operations on the week of the 24th. All depends on how fast that goes. Treasury operations will move down the hallway to the Register of Deeds office, room 108. So that will be normal business for the Treasury, but it'll just be down the hallway. You'll turn right instead of left. I know people will get confused, so we'll have to just bear with it. But Treasury, if you're paying normal real estate and personal property, come to the courthouse. You will be able to go to the Register of Deeds office and do your business. If you're motor vehicle, everything is going to be at the annex on 17th Street for at least the next 2 weeks. I can't think of a better month to do your motor vehicle or treasury operations or payments online or by mail than this month. Because it will be a very hectic time, and so I would very much encourage people to do it online or by mail if at all possible. And I can guarantee you when we open up on the last week of April, all that pent-up demand will show up within 2 or 3 days. So that opening will be a busy time. Any questions?
Larry, this is a lot, and it will definitely change the way people need to do things. Have you gotten with the media to try and blast this out a little bit extra?
As I speak, the news release is going out, and I think Amanda has, she will help us with that. We also are going to change our website to indicate that. And I don't see the media here today, but I would hope that they would maybe give me a call, and we'll try our best. People are confused between Treasury and motor vehicle all the time, so I know that's going to be difficult to sort out. We'll just have to work through that, and we're just asking you to be patient. I think this is in the best interest of the public. They really don't want to be working in a hard-hit area or coming to a hard-hit area to pay their bills, and we don't want to be working under that. Plus, the access to the building and the parking is not going to be ideal, to say the least.
Yeah. All right, keep us posted.
All righty.
Thank you very much, Larry.
May the 10th. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Stephanie Kuhlman with the Shawnee County Commission Office. Situated here. The April County Connections newsletter has been published to our website. Very easy to find. Go to our county homepage, snco.us. At the top, there are some drop-down menus called departments, and you'll find commission. From there, click on the newsletter link. The online auction began Tuesday, and bidding will end this Friday at noon. This fundraiser raises money for Project Topeka, which uses 100% of the donations to feed hungry in Topeka and Shawnee County. Courts and county employees can bid on items that local businesses and employees have donated. This will raise money for a good cause. Here are a few items that are in our auction.
Chicken throne.
Tulips at Twilight begins tomorrow and goes through Sunday, April 23rd. It features 90 larger-than-life lighted displays with thousands of tulips illuminated by candlelight and lighted displays. The displays include 15-foot-tall illuminated tulips, larger-than-life illuminated flowers, and mushrooms tall enough for people to walk underneath, rivers of blue lights, floating lanterns in the Asian garden. Patrons can enjoy Old Prairie Town building tours on Friday and Saturday evenings. Tulips at Twilight is set for 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Admission is $5 per person, and children under 5 are free. Another tulip event is the Gerald Binkley Tulip Time. It is also from April 7th through April 23rd. The event features tens of thousands of multicolored tulips and flowering bulbs in Shawnee County's Parks and Recreation's 3 featured gardens: Ted Inslee Gardens at Lake Shawnee, the Doran Rock Garden, and Old Prairie Town Botanical Garden. The event is named for its founder, Gerald Binkley, who passed away in 2019. And Tulip Time Festival at the lake is set for April 15th at Ted Inslee Gardens at Lake Shawnee. The event will feature 40,000 multicolored tulips of 30 to 40 varieties, along with food and craft vendors and a performance by the Topeka High Drumline. The festival runs from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., like I said, on April 15th. And a $5 donation for the day gains entry to the gardens plus all the entertainment and fun. Shawnee County milestones are county employees celebrating work anniversaries in 5-year increments. Jennifer Martinez has been with the county for 25 years. Chuck Pretty has been with Shawnee County for 30 years. And Alana Rice in Motor Vehicles Office has been with the county for 35 years. Congratulations to all of these employees. Some April upcoming events. Mondays are our normally scheduled county work sessions at 9 a.m. And Thursdays are county commission days, meetings at 9 a.m. However, the April 27th commission meeting has been canceled. Be sure to check out the April County Connection newsletter for more stories. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, next item. Oh, wait a minute. Commissioner Mays.
Well, so I had a chance to do a couple of interesting things this week that sort of unique. The Airport Authority, the MTAA, had a strategic planning session early this week in which they invited stakeholders from around the county, tenants that rent from them, and a group of about 30 people to participate in trying to put together a plan for our airports in Shawnee County, things they can do to make a better economic impact, kind of improve some of the aesthetics of the airports, and the functionality. So pretty exciting stuff. Some of the things that were talked about So hope to see what comes from that in the near future. Also, yesterday I attended the Topeka Area Sports Commission meeting. A lot of exciting stuff happening there, but they did announce sort of a new program that they're planning on putting together for volunteers. It's called Task Force. It kind of came about from the National Junior College track event that happened a few weeks ago and the need for volunteers. So, you know, the hope is that there's a lot of people who really enjoy sports and athletics that have never been asked to volunteer for any events like that. And so hoping to find kind of an army of volunteers that can help with athletics in Shawnee County. So a neat program. I hope that anybody who's interested can get signed up for that. So that's everything from me. Looks like the weather's going to be nice for tulip time though. So
That was a good event at Junior College National Track Meet. I got a chance to work at that, and man, there were some fantastic athletes. But maybe even more important is what an economic impact that was for Topeka. All the different teams that came in, spending the night. It probably filled up the hotels.
yeah.
Good event. I had the opportunity to volunteer at Old Prairie Town, setting up for tulip time one day. That was kind of fun, but I couldn't hardly move the next day. I was so stiff. But anyway, it's coming along. I'm sure they're working nonstop out there right now. It's always kind of a rush right at the 11th hour to try to get everything accomplished. But that's all I have. Next item.
Item 7, executive session.
We do have a need for executive session. I'd like to make the motion to go into executive session for a period not to exceed 20 minutes for the following reasons. One, for the primary discussion of acquisition of real property. We've set aside 10 minutes for that. And consultation with an attorney for public body or agency which would be deemed privileged in an attorney-client relationship, and that is also for 10 minutes. No action expected on these items at this time. Let's plan on starting at 10 o'clock. How would that be?
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0. All right. All right, we're back in session. No action was taken. We're adjourned.